Welcome to all of our impressive agents and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, February 24th, 2022, and this is All the Leads Mastermind podcast number 367. And I really don't have anything to share this week. Tim, Bruce, you want to start with a recap of your recent training, and what else would you like to share, sir?
Yeah, yesterday we had a great day with two trainings. Did a training for all of those of you that had signed up for pre-probate leads. So we did pre-probate foundations training. And then afterward, we jumped over to a series that I'm coaching and training on called the Agent DNA. Just kind of laid out the fundamentals of what your agent DNA is, what your DNA as a small business owner is. If you have a service to offer, that's what we covered. And I believe, just a little teaser for those of you that didn't make it, might want to jump into the next Agent DNA Foundations training. I believe that every single business that's going to be successful has a specific set of elements that your business DNA is made out of. And if you're missing pieces of those elements, then you're going to probably have some holes and some gaps in your business, and you probably won't be able to scale the way that you want to. So we talked about that, and that's going to lead into a several-month series. If you couldn't jump in there, I'll teach it again here in about a month or two, and you guys can jump into the next series. It is free for everyone. So that's what we did yesterday. It was a busy and impactful day.
Bruce, as a teaching machine, I was privileged to share that call with you, and I use the word privilege with all due respect. Probably the best job I've seen Bruce do among many great jobs, but in particular, the coverage of what we dealt with in regard to what to say, when to say it, what the sensitivities need to be in terms of dealing with pre-probate, and the specific differences between that and probate, and also covering all of the ancillary things that we've provided for it with letters and structure and all the pieces that make this work. Bruce did a masterful job of doing it, and I think the one thing I'll repeat that I said yesterday, Bruce takes he can take a very complex subject and reduce it down to some pretty simplistic things that make it easy for you to do. And I've never, ever heard him on any of our calls recommend anybody to do something that would be more complex than they're going to be able to do easily. And all of them are things that if they do get implemented, they simply work. And I think that's a real art. So I'm tickled to death that, we're doing that. And if you don't take advantage of what Bruce has to offer, you're making a big mistake, because you're not investing in your future, and he's a great teacher.
Thank you, Tim.
Jim, I only have one other thing I was going to say, and it literally kind of, goes back to, kind of what we started the call off with Edwin Starr and his war, What Is It For? It's a challenging time in our world, and obviously be mindful of the people that are suffering over in Ukraine and all the crazy stuff that's going on over there, and as we are, and all we can do is hope that resolves itself in a way that it involves minimal loss of life and all that sort of stuff. It's a horrible time in the world, and unfortunately it looks like it's beginning to repeat things that happened before most of us were born. So, we need to be mindful of that and continue to support the people that are trying to help make the world a better place. And with that, Jim, I think you've got some people in the queue, bud.
Yeah, good job, everybody. We have 3 in the queue. There's plenty of room for more. Just hit *6 and hit 1. And first up this week is phone number ending in 5420. You're up first.
Hello, everyone.
Hello there.
Yes, I had a couple questions. One is, I've never had you guys speak about affidavit of heirships, like affidavit of survivorships, when a husband and wife and one outlives the other, and the title can get transferred from the wife or the husband, the surviving spouse, to the, from the deceased. All their interest goes, by operation of law to the surviving spouse. yeah, can you guys talk about your guys' experiences with affidavit of heirships in regards to when the probate hasn't been initiated? You know, you locate the heirs. They're willing to sell you or give you the deed for a nominal, some kind of agreement that you make with them. And yeah, can you guys elaborate on affidavits of heirship?
So Joe and I have had a chat about an affidavit of heirship recently, and before I kind of throw my 2 cents in, I'm curious to see if Jim or Tim have anything that they have seen with regard to an affidavit of heirship. Do you guys have anything, or do you want me to throw in first?
Tim, go ahead.
Because it's Joe on the phone, by the way, and I teed him up on a call earlier this week, and so I've already given him my thoughts. I'd like to give everyone else, but I want I didn't talk to Tim or Jim about this, and I'd like to hear their experience if they have any.
Sure, Tim, you want to go first, or you want me to? I think we lost Tim. When I was going, Tim, you might be muted out if you're talking. My experience is, and my understanding is that they typically don't go to probate. It's in Florida. There's something called tenants in common with the right of survivorship. So if one spouse dies, the title automatically passes to the remaining spouse. And I'm assuming that is something similar that you're referencing in your state. I guess the downside. Okay, yeah. I guess the downside to that, if you are part of our regular program, is that would probably not go through probate. Sometimes other aspects of the estate may go through probate, and that's one of the reasons we say if you see a probate and there's no real estate in there, don't assume that there isn't any real estate. There still may be some real estate that's already passed through an affidavit like that. The second thing I would say is that is one of many reasons why we rolled out our pre-probate program. And Tim, if you're back, you want to expand on that? Are you there, Tim?
Yeah, I'm here.
I guess we. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. What I was going to say is I had one experience with this. It was probably 10 years ago, and it was indeed a property that a man died, and he had 2 sons. The 2 sons were not deeded the property, but it was an inheritance within the will, and they were able to, at that point, get it carved out from the estate and sold, even though they were going to go ahead and file probate, and they were able to do that. That's the only thing I had, and all I asked for was that they gave me a document that I had my attorney review. My attorney reviewed it and said, yep, that's good as gold. You can go ahead and buy the property, and I bought it. So that's the only experience I had with it. And Bruce, from that point, man, it's up to you.
All right. So I'm going to speak in some more general questions toward Joe's particular scenario. And those of you on the call, just be aware that your state may or may not operate this way, but there are a lot of states that have either a small estate exemption where the assets in the overall estate basically qualify you to be able to skip probate, in which case you could file an affidavit of heirship and carve assets, be it real estate, bank accounts, really anything, personal property. You could carve that out of probate, or skip probate altogether with an affidavit of heirship. In North Carolina, where I live, you are allowed to go through probate and carve the real estate out with an affidavit of heirship. You can do that under a lot of circumstances here and in some of your states. But kind of in general, what you guys need to be aware of is whether the asset is something in your state that qualifies for as a transfer on death asset. And every state calls it something different, so this is a generalization. Bank accounts especially bank accounts that have two people's names on the bank account, is considered a transfer on death asset. So if a husband and wife, or when my grandfather died, I was named as a beneficiary on one of his bank accounts. If that kind of thing happens, where there's a beneficiary or a co-owner of a bank account or real estate or co-owner of certain personal property, when one person dies, the co-owner, as long as they're still living, can sign an affidavit of heirship and take ownership, sole ownership of that asset without needing to go through probate. So that's basically where this comes into play for you, Joe, and for those of you that run into this scenario in the future. You have to ask yourself, is this a transfer on death asset or is it not? If it's not, it probably needs to go through probate unless the estate meets the small estate exemption. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that's interesting, Tim, that in your state they have to go through probate. And, this, strategy just enhances, the probate leads and the pre-probate leads and what everybody, you all are doing, and Coach Bruce. And it's just one more way to, save families time to, get something that they want, in the past or in the rearview mirror. And, I think a lot of states are like Hawaii. In Hawaii, it doesn't have to be a small estate. So, like I think Coach Bruce was saying to others to check on that, because some states, you can still do it even if it's not a small estate like Hawaii. I believe Florida and states like that are similar to Hawaii, would probably be, again, uniformed, again, much like the Uniform Commercial Code. So I just wanted to share that because maybe other people can, benefit from that and help families get through the process a lot quicker, and they don't want to wait for the judge and everybody to come to terms and agreements and all of that stuff. It's worked so far. I mean, it seems like it's working. It's a proven method. This blueprint. So basically you just have the heirs. Again, in this case, one brother, one sister signed off on the affidavit in front of a commission notary public. And we went ahead and sent that into, the servicer of the loan, of the brother's loan, as well as an authorization to release loan information, to allow them to get access to the brother's account and get a payoff code so they can know how much is owed on the property. And from there, you can either make an agreement with the family that you'll take care of that.
Yep. So Joe, you made an agreement with the family to
the state, settle the estate, and be able to have that recorded in the county that you're in or the property is in, and you record that.
Joe, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
No problem. Transferring the title over. To the
Joe, I don't know if you can hear us.
Or the person or
hey, Joe, I don't. Can you hear me, Joe? You're breaking up real bad.
Whoever the area is, whoever the person or representative is.
And
but you can do it without
Joe off in a polite way, and then I know what Joe's speaking of, so I'll kind of take over and recap what he's saying. Joe, sorry to cut you off like that. So what had happened in Joe's scenario is this property was going to go to foreclosure, and it was going to go to foreclosure because the decedent had passed away over a year ago, and they had not opened probate until very, very recently. They opened probate and put the real estate in probate without needing to. So they were trying to do this without an attorney. And they opened probate once they started getting notice of default letters and intent to foreclose from the bank. So what we had done with Joe in a case like that is we had Joe get an affidavit of heirship to carve the real estate out of probate, and we also had the current the heirs sign an authorization for Joe to go get payoff from the bank. So Joe and his attorney got an authorization signed. They went and got payoff from the bank, and that payoff kind of dictated the terms that he was able to offer to the individual family members who were going about probate all the wrong way. Number one, they waited for over a year to even open probate. And then when they did open probate, they did it without an attorney, so they put the real estate into the estate and into probate. And they had to end up carving that out. So Joe was able to arrange for a purchase price. He was able to get them connected with a really good probate attorney, a probate attorney that he did not previously have a relationship with. So he was able to use this person's kind of mistake to build a relationship with an attorney that he didn't have before. And he got the payoff and was able to structure a deal that got them more than the house was, more than they owed on the house, but also got him a very healthy return and profit when this closes and he flips it. So be aware of these situations, guys, where not everybody that goes into probate is doing it the right way. There are a lot of times that they're putting real estate in there that doesn't need to be. They're putting assets into probate that don't need to be in probate. And you just have to be willing to look at these situations, connect them with the proper counsel, and there's tons of win-wins here that you can really rescue someone who's going about it all the wrong way.
Perfect. And Joe, we had to mute you out. You were breaking up so badly. Must be a bad cell area. But Tim, I think you had a closing thought about this, correct?
Well, two of them. One is I want to emphasize what Bruce said and bring it up, in particular involved with pre-probate. One of the things that becomes critically important for you, if you have, like so many now of our people have, if you're a pre-probate subscriber and you're dealing with a probate before it has gone to probate, you're dealing with an inheritance, you're dealing with all that, and the chances are pretty good in pre-probate that they haven't filed yet. Having a relationship with an attorney is really critical to have, in that it gives you a great way to go knock on that attorney's door and say, I'm dealing with people who haven't selected an attorney yet, and I'm looking for a place to refer them, and I've got some questions. And the same things that Bruce was talking about there in terms of what is applicable in your state. Is your state joint tenancy with rights of survivorship state? What are the limits of probate? All those sorts of things are applicable to the conversation that you're going to have with your pre-probate opportunities. And it's one more value that you have to have, but it is a great way for you to go knock on an attorney's door to look that information up. And the value of that and the way to find those, obviously, is that most of you are our probate subscribers. So go sort your probate list, find the person who's doing the most probate business the attorney who's doing the most probate business by sorting your list, and go knock on their door, and you'll build that great relationship. The other thing I was going to say, and just to close that out, is that, again, back to pre-probate, these are the opportunities that are there in pre-probate that don't exist in probate, where you potentially, if you know what the rules are in your state, you can get things carved out of the account of the potential probate before it ever goes to probate, if you know the rules and you know how to play the game. And that's really the value that you're providing for those potential heirs. Is one of those, because most of the time this is going to come down to money at the end of the game. And if you know your stuff going in, be ready to rock and roll as soon as you get that information. You get them on the phone, start asking them questions. The chances are pretty good they're not going to know the answer, but you will. And, Bruce is making a great point. I just want to hammer home the attorney relationship is vital in that. And it's a great reason to pursue pre-probate for that reason.
Perfect.
Can you guys hear
Tim,
me
one
now?
thing. We can hear you now. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, great. Yeah, thank you. Coach Bruce has been fantastic. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, Tim and Coach Bruce and all of you said is absolutely true. And yeah, so I have another one. That, like, you said, Tim, they didn't file probate. The dad passed away a couple of years ago, and nobody did anything. The servicer, lender, mortgage company, bank didn't, file hire attorneys to, initiate the probate. So yeah, same strategy as the other one that Coach Bruce knew about, that I shared with him. But this new one was, from yesterday, and yeah, same blueprint that I did with the last one. I had them do an affidavit of heirship, had them fill out the authorization to release, loan information to the dad's account with the servicer, so they could get access to, and then make a request for the payoff quote, and then make the terms off of the payoff quote that everybody wins. The estate is settled, the mortgage is paid off, and the family gets some money, and now everybody can move on with their life. So yeah, it's a very powerful strategy, and I agree that having a really good probate attorney, obviously doing all of that, for you is critical. Making sure the affidavit of heirship is done correctly, and getting that in the public record is extremely important as well in your county's public recorder's office is extremely important, and including an attachment with the death certificate is also what seems to be extremely powerful.
Excellent. Tim, you had one more thought, I think, correct?
Well, it's not about this, but it's literally about what we just talked about. We really love getting all this positive feedback from subscribers and customers, and our goal is always to better the lives of the people in our community and the people that we serve. And when we see it succeed, that means everything to us. We love this platform being a place where you can come and share your stories and, let us know all that. That being said, our marketing team is really, really anxious to find more ways to share our customer experience with more people and more customers. And one of the ways we like to do that is by asking valued customers like you to leave us a review on our social platforms, Facebook and Google. If you're happy with us and, all that sort of stuff, and you're on and you do that, it'd be great if you'd post a positive review. We're always trying to get that stuff done and all of that. If you're not sure where to leave your review and you want to, if you'll just reach out to our support line and say, yeah, I really like you guys. You've done great stuff for me. You've helped me build my business or whatever. They'll send you a link or they'll help you get this done or anything else that you need to get it done. We want to hear from you. We can talk all day long about how wonderful we are, and that doesn't matter. What really matters is you guys saying it, and we hear it all the time. We just don't think to ask you to document it enough. So, I'm going to ask you, Joe, to do the same thing, man. We'd love to hear from you and put it online and make you famous.
Absolutely, Tim. And then
all
one
right,
more
buddy,
thing. And then one more thing in regards to the smaller states. In other states, I don't know if you guys could hear me earlier. I think I got cut off because of my connection, but actually the smaller state doesn't apply in Hawaii, and I believe it doesn't apply in Florida and New York and other judicial states. I haven't researched the non-judicial states yet, so I'll let you guys know about that when I do more research on the non-judicial states. But I know all judicial states follow the same uniform blueprint like Hawaii. So all the judicial states would be applicable to the affidavit of heirship, whether it's a smaller state or not. Because these estates were, $800,000. So they definitely was not smaller states, and the affidavit still applied, and the title automatically by operation of law, transferred over to the heirs or the surviving heirs.
That's great, man. That's great.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. We have three more in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 5741. You're up next.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Ken. I'm a realtor investor in California, but I'm moving to the Sarasota area in Florida toward the end of summer, and I've done a lot of probates out here, and I'm looking at doing your program out there, probably in the Sarasota area. But I'm just kind of curious about, how I should put together my plan as far as response rate, and what are more typical Florida wholesale fees on probates that you guys see, or can you even comment?
Wholesale fees, is that what you said?
Yeah. I buy, but I also wholesale.
Mm-hmm. So this is not necessarily specific to Florida. Going back, starting from your last question, working backwards, not specific to Florida because everybody has a different model. But as a wholesaler, and I don't wholesale a lot, guys, but occasionally I'll go in and I'll make an offer on something that I intend to close. And if I can wholesale it before I have to get to closing and it's easier, I'll absolutely wholesale it. So for me, 10,000 would kind of be the minimum that I would go after if I was wholesaling a deal. And it depends on what the potential profit is as well. I think that normal, and this is not Florida specific, but normal around the country is 15 to 20,000 is kind of what most people look for when they're wholesaling a property. And I would say that in the Florida, Sarasota, Tampa, anything in there, that's pretty standard.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is I come from a high-cost area in Bay Area, California. I've gotten 100,000 wholesale fees. But more typical 40 to 50. But again, that's a lower price range, different market. I'm assuming it's more saturated. So
it really depends on you and your model. If you can sign deals and there's margin for a $50,000 or $100,000 wholesale fee, go get it. A lot of people are
I'm not expecting. Yeah, I'm not expecting that in Florida. I really am not.
Yeah. So, going back to your other questions, what should you do? So the first thing that you should do is jump into Probate Foundations next week. That would be number one. I'm going to touch on a couple of ratios here with my comment, but we'll dig into the science behind these ratios and Probate Foundation. So if you're free next Wednesday and Thursday, definitely register and sign up for that. You can do that on the All the Leads website. So
yeah, what is that? I'm not familiar with that program.
It's a 2-day course that we run through the kind of the foundational elements of what you have to get right if you're going to be successful in the probate niche. And it's not that complicated. It's 2 days, so it's going to be a 4.5, 5-hour class. A lot of people freak out. They think that, man, that's a lot of stuff I have to perfect. But what happens is I take these concepts that might only take, let's take a dialogue or a scripting type of approach. One concept might only take you 15 seconds to deliver on the phone. I'll teach that particular concept, the science behind it, the psychology behind it. I'll teach it for 15 to 20 minutes. So we're breaking apart every single piece of what you need to know, and it's just really it's just going to be really powerful because you're going to have a easy to understand and easy to implement game plan after that class. And it's Eastern time. So if you're in Florida now, you might be in California now. So I'll go Eastern time. It's 2:00 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday and Thursday next week. And each session runs about 2 to 2.5 hours. So we talk about building your team. We talk about what your marketing needs to look like, how long it needs to last. We talk about your conversion rates, creating a unique selling proposition that is custom to you. And then we break down on day number 2, we break down exactly what to say, how to say it, and what to expect when you get somebody on the phone. And at the end of that, I've had people that have come 4 or 5 times to that class. At the end of it, you should have a really good grasp on how to build your probate.
Okay, so about 2.5 hours for each day as far as the time commitment.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I can handle that. Yeah.
Now, as far as what to expect, here's what I would expect. Expect to build a plan that lasts, a marketing and a prospecting plan that lasts between 5 and 8 months for each list that you have. That's going to be a combination of mail. Probably you could certainly add in content marketing on video and blogs and different things like that. But the real approach, the boots on the ground approach, is going to be mail and phone calls. So you need to work with families for a while because they don't lose a loved one, open probate, put the house on the market all in a week and sell. It's a process. And right. Your competitors are accustomed to someone picking the phone up and saying, hey, we've got it all handled. We don't need anything. And your competitors believe that's the truth. Now, the consumer that you're talking to, the prospect you're talking to, they're not lying to you. They really do think they have it handled because they haven't gotten very far into probate yet. So if you are in it for the long haul and you're little by little establishing relationships and adding more people into your warm pipeline, by the time you hit like a half a year with any given list, you're going to start to see very predictable results. And what I'm looking at, anywhere from 1.5% to 3.5% conversion rates on any list should be your conversion rate if you're doing a consistent and good job with prospecting and marketing over the course of that approximate 5 to 8 months. And by that
1%
point,
conversion. Is that what you said?
1.5% to 3%. So somewhere between 1.5% and 3.5%. In most markets.
All right.
In some markets more, some markets it's a shade less, but I've seen people convert 7, 8, 9% in some markets. I wouldn't say that a hot Florida or San Francisco market's going to do that, but then again, you don't have to convert there because you're making huge money on the smaller number of deals. So that's what I think you're going to expect if you follow through with the leads for a half a year approximately. You're going to have some low hanging fruit that does business with you in month 1, but I would plan on the majority of your business coming in that 5th, 6th month.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. Like I said, I've done this out here for decades actually, but just trying to gauge. Okay, how to put it together and be patient. I've got other sources of income, so I can live with that.
Awesome. Okay.
Perfect. Cool. All right, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you participating.
Thanks.
Great participation today, everyone. We've got 3 more in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 6920. You're up next.
Hi, guys. This is Felix in Tucson, Arizona. And hi there. First of all, I wanted to let you guys know that I started the letter campaigns in January, and I've taken 2 listings so far, so I'm very happy. And I haven't done a whole lot of calling, but the letters do the trick, so that's really been working well. But now to my question. I'm getting a lot of people get called by investors, and they oftentimes think that, and I'm an agent here in Tucson, and a lot of folks are like, oh no, they just kind of automatically think that we're an investor or that I'm an investor, whereas we can help them with a whole gambit of services. And so I don't know, is there a good objection handler there, or what do you guys do?
Yeah, man. So this Felix, this kind of falls a little bit outside of what I'll typically teach in the Foundation's dialogue training. But for me, if you're getting a single objection up front, I would probably tee it up and address it before they vocalize that objection. Felix, have you? I don't remember. I think you have been in Foundations. Have you? Have you come to the dialogue day in Foundations?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Come to that. So I'm going to address it up front, maybe in my introduction, and I might say something like, "Hey, Felix, Bruce Hill, I don't think we know each other. Don't worry, I'm not an investor." Okay, so I might even cram it right into the front introduction of my phone call. Another thing that I might do is wait till I've gone through the pitch talking points of my phone call, where I'm actually presenting the services that I offer, and in my conversation hook. And I know that a lot of these terms might be brand new to you if you haven't been through Foundations. So in that conversation hook that I ask at the end of my presentation of my services, I might say, should I assume that you probably, if you sold the house, you're probably not looking for a lowball cash offer?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And now I say, yeah, no, I don't want a lowball cash offer or a lowball offer. Now you can say, okay, good, because I wasn't really interested in lowballing you anyway. Were you thinking about selling the house, or were you thinking about keeping it? Okay, so I would rather try to address that, figure out where you're getting most people that say, hey, we're not selling to an investor, or they're hitting you with that objection or resistance. I'd try to figure out where they hit you with that and either make a statement or ask a question before they vocalize their concern.
Okay.
A lot of times people wait for the objection to come up and then they try to handle the objection. I'd much rather present the objection before they've even vocalized it. It just gives you control. It allows you to establish and maintain rapport and credibility with the person, because now you're not left back on your heels trying to respond to their resistance. We take the resistance to them, basically.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yep.
So get into foundations. This is just a nonstop commercial for foundations, but everything that a lot of the folks today are asking on this call will be addressed next week on that class in detail.
Great.
And I want to
All
ask
right,
if
sir.
you don't mind. I want to ask if you don't mind to remember what I asked earlier. You've had great results, and those are the kinds of things that we want to hear. Please get on Facebook and in the group and just point out what you just said, that you just started your mailing program in January. You've already taken 2 down, and I mean, that's great results, and, looking forward to great results in the future. And hop on with support, and let's get a testimonial from you as well. We're just trying to be smart about our marketing as well, because we're trying to grow our business and be able to offer you guys more services. Thanks for commenting, though. It's great to hear. You're my guy.
All right. Great job, guys. Again, we got 2 more in the queue. Excellent participation today. We really appreciate it. Next up is phone number ending in 6026. You're up next.
Yes, my name is Lenny. I'm here in Los Angeles as an agent. I've been in real estate for quite some time, but I've never attempted the probate market, and I actually took some leads and actually went to their doors to talk to them in person. And it was amazing to see how some people will talk to you and some people don't. Now, my question is, I am new to this whole group, and I have not attended the foundation, or didn't even know it existed. And what website do I go to register for that, or and learn about the mailers and all that stuff? I'd like to see some people are having results with that, and I'd like to try it. So I'd like to know how I register for that.
So are you a subscriber? Yep. Are you subscribed to our leads?
No, I just joined the group, a week ago, and I got a message saying that there's a call today. So this is my first time with this. So awesome. I have not subscribed to any leads. No.
No, that's great. That's great. So one of the things that we'll definitely do after the call is over, we'll have someone reach out to you, and they can explain the whole program to you and explain what we offer and how it gets done. There's a lot to explain, and it would take a while to do it here, but if you don't mind, we'll have somebody reach out to you as soon as the call is over and tell you everything you need to know. How about that?
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Appreciate it.
All right.
Welcome. We appreciate you. We have 1 more in the queue, guys. We do have room for 1 or 2 more. It's been a great participation, great variety of subjects today. And I'll give you 5 more minutes to jump in. If anybody else would like to join, hit *6 and hit 1. In the meantime, the last person in the queue right now is phone number ending in 5420. You're back.
Yes,
Joe is back.
Yes, I'm back. I had a couple more questions. This time. Can you guys share your guys' experiences and how you guys handle inheritance taxes and when the heirs bring up inheritance?
I think you're breaking up again, Joe.
Yep, Joe broke up again. No, that was Joe. Go ahead, Bruce. I think he got the gist of his question, but he broke up real bad again.
Yeah. So by and large, inheritance taxes. You need a good accountant on your team that you can take these people to. An accountant and a financial advisor should be like vital parts of your team that you can go to. I can talk in general about inheritance taxes and step-up basis, but every state's going to be different. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a real estate guy that knows how to talk to people and get them to use me, basically. So there are generally step-up basis. There is a step-up basis, so they'll normally evaluate the estate at the time of the passing, or at the time at the time of the passing as best they can, and the inheritance taxes really are kind of a percentage of any growth that the estate value undergoes during the beyond the time of the death. All right. There are that percentage of taxes and the structure of that seems to change every single year. So I could be wrong on that, but that's a big reason why you need a good accountant that knows inheritance law, inheritance tax rates, and a good financial advisor that you can connect your leads with, your prospects with after you've established a relationship.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, can you guys hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Much better.
Yep.
Oh, great. Okay, so is that something that we structure again when we make an agreement with the heirs, or is that something totally separate with the inheritance
I would do that
taxes?
at the time or before your agreement with the heirs.
Yes.
I'm always looking for a way to get in the door with everyone that I deal with. So getting in the door typically sounds something like this. Someone says, "Yeah, Joe, I'm thinking about selling the property, but we're not ready yet." And that's what you'll hear more times than not. But we're not ready yet. This is probably what we're going to do in the future, but we're not there yet. And your response should always be, "Hey, great, I completely understand," and I hear that from most people. Do you think you guys would be open to an offer for consideration so that you could consider it when you are ready? Okay, that's the question that you want to ask. You've kind of taken the pressure off. You've presented the idea of an offer that they could look at when the family's ready. And this works for all real estate, by the way, guys. This is not just a probate line. Would you be open to an offer so that you guys could consider it maybe when the time is ready? You're going to get a lot of yeses to that question, even if families and homeowners aren't ready to sell yet. And then once you get a yes, okay, perfect. I'll be happy to send that over. Really all I need to do is swing by, take a look at the house so that I can get you something pretty accurate. Do you have any time in the next week or so that I might be able to take a quick 30-minute walkthrough of the house? And then you get in. People's time frames change all the time when they're looking at real black and white numbers with a dollar sign in front of them. People that have told me I'm selling in 6 months have decided to sell in a week when they're looking at an offer, or when they're looking at a listing price. They change their mind. And until they see that dollar figure, they're probably going to get just stuck in limbo and stuck in the process. So that's the first thing that I would do, is try to get in the house. When you're in the house, you're going to present them an option to take care of everything. These are the 4 most important professionals that I think you could connect with. Could I connect you with my accountant so that you make sure that you're not overpaying on inheritance taxes? Could I connect you with my financial advisor so that we make sure that you're not blowing your money, that you can actually turn this into a legacy for your family? Could I connect you with this person? All this happens while you're at the property for the first time, even if the family's not ready to sign on the dotted line and sell a house yet.
Okay. Yeah, Coach Bruce or anybody else, Tim or Chuck. So is there a way you can structure the deal where the inheritance?
There he goes again. Oh, that's funny. His cell went out again, Bruce. That time I can't guess what the question was going to be. Could you?
Nope.
All right. Hey, Joe, if you can hear us, please just call back directly. Call support back, and one of us will call you back and answer that last question. We completely lost you this time. Anything, guys, great call today. Anything any of my partners want to say in closing, or should I go ahead and give it the standard close? Tim, anything you want to add?
I'd say give it the close, buddy. It's been a great call. All we can do to to it is make it worse.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I want to really thank you for great participation today, great questions, a variety of topics, which we love. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I want to particularly thank the half a dozen or so people that actively participated. I want to challenge each of you, take one of the great ideas you heard on today's call, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next Thursday and share your results with the group. Have a great week, everybody. We will talk to you same time next Thursday.